Alright, so welcome to the Impact Debrief weekly. I don't know what I'm saying, but as we talked about last night, I'm going to talk really fast because talking fast is fun, and doing this is fun too. If this means something bad, I have no idea what it means, so I'm very sorry if I implied anything. Okay, anyways, tonight was Impact. As you'd expect, tonight was also the Astros versus the Dodgers game, if that means anything to you guys, which it probably does, because it seems to mean something to a lot of people. Started at 5 o'clock, it is now 9:39, and it is still going, and people still care about it, and what the hell, people are getting really scared or really excited. Well, I live in LA, so people are getting really scared as of the 11th inning. I don't know if that changes, I really don't care. People are getting really scared and really emotionally upset at something so completely meaningless. Now, I'm sure I offended a whole bunch of people, and whatever. Let's not talk sports, because I'm just offending people. But, I mean, who cares? I don't know. Okay. That was a good night. Number one, off the bat, I could kind of tell it was going to be a good night. I walk in, it's Costco pizza. I'm like, okay, let's get some change. Okay, oh, that's so good. Put in so I decided not to have pizza with my small group tonight, because the pre-impact pizza was flipping Costco. And let's be real, Domino's pizza, when put next to a Costco pizza, I mean, it's laughable. It's like, who baked that? What's an insulting? Like, I want to say family member, but, like, normally family members are notorious for good baking. Like, your mom, oh no, moms normally have good, grandmas normally have really good cooking recipes, because that's what they do. Your dad? I don't know, but I don't want to insult my dad. Okay, go what? So anyways, Domino's, my point is, it looks stupid. It's like, the box is side by side, I'm like, boy, what are you doing? Group tonight, so, very interesting night. I didn't get to do as much, what do we call it, real talk as I would wanted to. Is that what we're going to call it? I think you guys know what I'm saying when I say real talk. There's an outreach event like I've talked about on Friday, which is 2 days from now. And by the way, on Friday, I'm going to be done with the entire quarter. So, like, what? I'm already almost out of high school. That's 5/16 of the way through high school, which is really sad, actually. I don't really want to graduate. I missed 10 minutes of the sermon tonight because I was in the bathroom with a bloody nose. That sucked. Hunter told a ghost story tonight. I have footage of that. Roll it.
But the woman said to him, "Surely you know what Saul has done. He has cut off all the mediums and spiritists from the land. Why have you set a trap for my life to bring about my death?" So basically what's happening here is Saul, guys, you never talk during a ghost story.
Amen.
Saul has gone to the mediums and he has disguised himself. And he has said, "Bring me a spirit. Bring me someone from the other realm." And the woman's like, "Listen, I know that Saul said, don't bring up any spirits." And Saul says this. Saul swore to her by the Lord, "As surely as the Lord lives, you will not be punished for this." So he says, "I swear to God, God won't hurt you." Seriously, this guy he's a class act. All right, so this woman's listening and she says, "Whom shall I bring up for you?" "Bring up Samuel." So remember, Samuel's dead. Samuel's died at this point, and he wants this woman to bring up Samuel. What do you think she's going to do? Let's see what happens.
That was just interesting. Anyways, it was really funny though. We're reading, 2 Samuel, and Hunter just goes, "This is a scary story." He goes, unplugs all the lamps, Debbie turns down the lights, and then slide changes. You have this PowerPoint where I couldn't really focus. I can't remember. You have this PowerPoint with fire and then orange Bible passage. It was hilarious. And he pulls out a flashlight. He's telling a scary ghost story from 2 Samuel. But it was hilarious because he kept going with that. He would tell it in a spooky voice. Now you see what Saul is doing here. What is Saul thinking? What is he doing? So then Saul, straight into sermon mode, or in and out of sermon mode. But of course, the lights are still on and everything. And then, oh my gosh, it was a funny night. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's not much going on. Groups this year are very interesting, very different dynamically than last year. Last year there were some nights where there were not very many people in our group. And this year we're kind of facing a problem, which has been vocalized, where there are not enough guy leaders. And I think there's the same amount as last year. But there must be a hell of a lot of people coming to Impact that didn't normally come, or maybe our freshman class is ridiculously large, and our senior class last year wasn't very big, so that might be the unbalance kind of there, losing a few people, gaining a lot. But there's a set amount of groups. I'm only focusing on guy groups. I don't know what the girl groups are like, but there's like maybe 5 or 6, maybe even 7 guy groups in Impact. And last year they were all pretty good. And this year, every single one of them is oversized. There's too many people. A lot of the guy groups are having to split up during small group time. They split into 2 smaller groups, but they're still the same group, which is really interesting. But, they switch up the separations every week, so they're still all one group together, but just a small group each week is different smaller groups of people, if that makes sense. Because most groups have 2 leaders at this point. But I mean, the 2 leaders, it's college. There might be an adult and then a college leader or something. But the problem is there's too many. It's an interesting problem. There's too many people in every group, and there's really not a good way to solve it, because the problem of having not enough guy leaders doesn't solve that in and of itself. Because when you get another guy leader, you make another guy group, which is a very interesting idea, and that's not going to solve our problem, in my opinion, because I love everyone in my group dearly, but when we're all together, we can't focus, and that's, I guess I didn't directly say that. That is the problem that we're going through right now, is just, there's so many people in our group that we cannot, for the life of us, sit down and focus on the message, talk openly about stuff, because it's like 15 guys talking seriously. It's not physically possible, just 30 seconds and then back to joking around and stuff like that, which is really unfortunate. It's also unfortunate my nose is so stuffed up. Oh my gosh, hold on. Oh, I'm literally gonna cry. My nose is stuffed up, man. My nose is also sore because I told you guys I had the bloody nose. Well, I went into the bathroom and I decided to use paper towels because that's what was there, and I went through like 10 or 15 paper towels, rubbing my nose off blood, and paper towels are not very soft, so now my nose was sore, and now I'm talking in a weird pitch because I can't breathe through my nose, and it's just fun times all around. But when you talk for a long time, that just kind of naturally happens, so the vlogs are going to be like this for a while. So, as you can tell, weird times we're going through right now. Anyways, I have a little bit more homework to do, and that's relevant. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. Okay, so yeah, impact groups, situation with a lot of people. There's also a situation where there's not really a good time to... Sorry, I did that on purpose, if that wasn't my nose. There's not really a good time right now to... I should tell Hunter this. There's not really a good time to open up to other people, and I don't know. Normally that's after Impact, but now, everyone wants to leave right after Impact's over, which is unfortunate, but reasonable because it ends at 9, and I'm in a carpool because efficiency, that's the word I was looking for, because efficiency, but the carpool wants to leave, so, there's not really a very good time to sit down and talk to, or not sit down, but, talk to people, when, after a 3-hour spiritual night, there should be time. And normally, you'd say, oh yeah, impact groups, you have an hour of impact groups. But I kind of discussed this afterwards, after impact. Oh, this is counterintuitive with a few people tonight. That impact groups just, or at least right now, the state our impact group is in, it's just not a very, I won't say not a safe place, because I think it's safe, but it's not a very good place to kind of open up and, I don't know, to do its true function, which is really unfortunate. But and luckily for me, that's not necessarily as much of a problem, because I'm very well aware of that and the need for community in my life. So I'm constantly, I'm constantly finding that outlet where I'm going to go the extra mile, go the mile, to, find people like, hey, I trust this person, I'm going to talk, find that different people or start these different groups of people I want to talk to. So for me, necessarily, it's not too much of a problem. But in general, it's a problem because impact groups are not doing their purpose. That's kind of the entire point of an impact group, to be a small, an accountability group to an extent. And I think there are definitely, probably a few groups that are, but I think there are also quite a few groups that aren't, that are, in our same boat and not fulfilling what they should be. And there's not really anyone in specific to blame, like, what the hell you ruined it, except for just everyone, and not in a bad way, like we're all doing something bad. We're just showing up, and there's too many people showing up, and that's not bad. Like I said earlier, that's not a horrible thing. It's so great that there's so many people being involved. That's super important. Oh my gosh. What the problem is that there's so many people coming that there's not really a good time. There's so many people coming, and we can't hit. We just don't have the infrastructure right now to handle all those people, and the only way to divide groups, or to get groups to a size where there's, maybe comfortable to share, would be to divide, and that is not something anyone wants to do in the near future. To divide impact groups, that is not on anyone's list. And the next thing you think of is, okay, so every time a freshman class comes in, you put less and less people in the group, and then you start making new ones, but that doesn't work, because then, 1 year you have your group of all freshmen, like, a group of 4 freshman guys or whatever, and that's not a good impact group. And then there's also the thing, like, you say, you put 4 people in this group, like, my year, 4 freshmen came in my year, one of them being me, now there's only 3, and, well, I don't think that's going to change, actually. I mean, it could, but, one kid stopped coming, and, you never know which ones that sign up are going to be the ones that stay or don't, and just, the logistics of taking a system like the way Impact works, which is, it's not, there's a group for every grade, or not a group for grades, grade distinguished groups. Like, there were in junior high, like, my group is all 8th graders, my group is all 6th graders, my group is all high schoolers. And, it's kind of a line, and, my leader's been leading for 10 years, and his group's the same, in a sense, because you lose a few people and you gain a few people, but 75% of the people are the same, they just moved up a grade, and then that's the same for every year, so the group changes every 4 years, but it's still the same group, if that makes sense. And then it's in a place where, like, right now, I wouldn't want my group to be divided, and 4 years from now, they're not going to want their group to be divided either. So, I think that makes sense that, Impact's at an interesting place. Good discussion. So, hopefully, like I mentioned a long time ago, our little outreach event, not little actually, our huge outreach event that the church is doing, this Friday, which I'm helping out. Hopefully, well, I know Hunter will be there. I don't know it. I probably will. I mean, it's kind of his job. Hopefully, he's there and we can talk about whatever. Okay, anyways, I'm going to cut the vlog here because nose is stuffed up. I have to go read 15 more pages of Frankenstein. I have to brush my teeth. I have to floss my teeth. I have to mouthwash my teeth. And I have to throw this paper towel in the this Twinkies wrapper in the trash. And this paper towel because I kept this tonight in case my nose started bleeding during the rest of the sermon. Luckily it didn't. Okay. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like. If you didn't like the video, dislike it. Please share your opinion in the comments section down below. And I will see you next time, guys. Bye, bye, bye.